All right.
All right.
All right, all right. Everyone, welcome to our very first episode of The Quiet Hour. Ooh. It's a new show that we got going on the channel. It'll be just a little podcast-like thing where we talk about the content we've been watching and just go from there and talk about whatever we may please.
Yeah. Talk about stuff we watched, games we played.
Yeah, totally. Just have us sit down and chat. So, okay. It's the big one. Let's get out of the way first, because I feel like this is also going to be like a majority of this video. Let's talk about, Deadpool.
Yep.
We just got back from the movie. And we, first of all, we will be avoiding like all spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers, but we advise you to go watch it for yourselves, like now.
Yeah.
Like go see it for yourselves if you haven't already. But otherwise, we're just gonna be talking about it, what we thought.
Yeah.
And yeah, so all right, so I know you loved it. You thought it was great.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. I agree. It was really good. I was worried going into it though.
Yeah, you said you were.
Yeah, because what was it? It was one of the trailers that came out for the movie that really got me like worried about it. It's Deadpool doing Deadpool stuff in the trailer, but at the same time Deadpool's narrating saying, "Oh, when the bad guy steals your girlfriend, now it's time to become a superhero." So I was worried that they were setting Deadpool up to be like they were gonna try and like Hollywoodize him or something.
Yeah, put him in the next like Avengers or something.
Yeah, and set him up to be a superhero. That's
the next X-Men rather.
Yeah, or an X-Men. Yeah, but they just make him edgy because he breaks the fourth wall because that's what.
That's what he does.
I mean, that's what he does, but they did not do that, which I was very thankful for. Actually, even in that line of the trailer, I don't think he even said that in the movie once.
No, he never did.
He never said that. So, yeah. Ryan Reynolds is great. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is...
He did a fantastic
job.
Yeah,
he just owns Deadpool. Like, honestly, casting was good for him. Mm-hmm. I definitely enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think the casting was just pretty well done overall.
Yeah. I didn't read like too many reviews because I wanted to like kind of keep my mind, open for it. But a lot of people didn't like the villain, the British guy. Francis is his name, I guess. I think you know more about Deadpool lore than I do.
I really don't.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea where he came from whatsoever.
Oh, okay, because...
They do go over it in the movie, though. Like, they go over his backstory.
Right. And actually, this movie is split up between Deadpool, where he's at, like, right now and, like, what his motivation is, back to, his origin story. And Deadpool, as where he is telling you the audience, the backstory. So the storytelling's... it's getting switched up back and forth. It's kind of all over the place, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like you get to see Deadpool doing Deadpool stuff while he's like becoming Deadpool. So you're getting like kind of both ends of the spectrum there. I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought it was very well put together.
Yeah, because a lot of the times like when not necessarily rebooting a franchise, because Deadpool's never really gotten a movie or anything like that before, but like in Spider-Man when they did the reboot, or with Amazing Spider-Man, or like some of the Batman movies, when you have that origins at the beginning, it kind of gets like repetitive, and it's like, or they try to rush it, and it's kind of like a really quick and like doesn't the progression for the character doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
So you have, normal person, something traumatic happens, superhero, and then you got to get in the time for the superhero to be a superhero and set up a motivation for like a villain or whatever. So the handling of that, I feel like for Deadpool was really well done in this movie. It was I would say it was like an hour and a half long. It was something like that.
I think the show was at 1:45 and we got out at 3:45, so it was probably around
2 hours ish.
2 hours ish, yeah.
Maybe it was just 'cause it felt like it went by really quick because it is more of it's an action comedy because it's Deadpool, but it felt like it went by really quick. That's just me though. I mean, that's not necessarily a critique or anything on the movie. That's just kind of my own weird perception. But the thing I said earlier was the movie is really effective in making you want more Deadpool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah, the writing is awesome. Like I said, Ryan Reynolds is great as Deadpool and Wade Wilson. Back to that other thing, the villain, I thought he was okay.
I didn't really have any particular qualms about him.
Yeah.
I thought he doesn't really stand out, which is what I think what people kind of, which why I think people were upset, he's not a really memorable villain.
Exactly.
He's just like, he's there because the story needs a villain.
Yeah, and yeah, another thing about Deadpool in general is you're not really in there for good storytelling. You're in there for the kooky action and writing, I guess.
Well, I mean, but people went into Ant-Man expecting, like amazing storytelling when Ant-Man is literally all about humor too. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's almost like a less violent Deadpool and slightly less humor. But that was the whole point of Ant-Man. It was a funny comic. It wasn't supposed to be like, look at Superman saving people from buildings. Ant-Man was just doing random stuff. I mean, it was funny.
And, oh man. I totally see where you're coming from too. I did really enjoy it though, because like I said, I was worried, but it was good. And about the storytelling is that, because it's kind of thrown out the window because, we're avoiding spoilers, but Deadpool's whole motivation to go after this villain and to, become Deadpool is, tossed out. And, you find out that his whole motivation was really kind of, they didn't really resolve it in a way. But it's like Deadpool gets to be Deadpool now, so that, that's good for us. In a way. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying my best to, skirt around everything while not, saying any major plot points.
Yeah.
But the writing's great. God, I keep saying that because it's true, though. It's true, though.
It really is. The jokes are phenomenal. I don't think there was ever, at least a minute break worth where someone wasn't laughing during the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they're equally spread out, but it's really well done too. So there's no even in the serious bits of Deadpool's origins, it's still lighthearted in a sense that you can understand who Wade Wilson is as a person, just because he's always kind of that sarcastic asshole.
Yeah, he's always cracking jokes and being witty throughout he was being lighthearted throughout even his origins and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, the whole movie was it was basically, here's Deadpool, he's making jokes, this is how Deadpool was made, now we're back to Deadpool now, more jokes, now we're back again to a little bit later in time, and it's just, I think it's really well put together. I keep saying that as well. It's put together very well, and it's just funny all around. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. To avoid spoilers, that is the most we can really say. If you haven't watched it for yourself, go watch it. Just it's good. It's good. I was one other thing. Going back to the whole idea about being lighthearted and cracking jokes a lot. I was worried that another thing I was worried about was the jokes that we saw in the trailer was those were like really the only good jokes that we're gonna be able to see, or like the only good jokes that they had to show.
That is definitely not the case.
Yeah, no.
Some of the better ones, in my opinion, are not in the trailer, which was good on Marvel's part.
Oh yeah, totally. It really comes down to the writing again.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's great. It's definitely humorous, and it's yeah. I mean, all right. So, I think we've talked about 10 minutes now about Deadpool. You guys get the idea. We love the writing. We love Ryan Reynolds. It's well put together. Mm-hmm. So now, have you been watching anything else? I think.
Yeah. So recently, I'm a big Rooster Teeth fan. If you don't know who they are, you should look them up. Great stuff. They recently released their first feature film, which is called Laser Team.
Okay.
Which is a sci-fi comedy. Now, there weren't any released in like where we are, and the only way you could do that is if you used another product called Tug, and in which you would have to like essentially set up a screening for yourself. And I was like, yeah, that's too much effort.
Yeah.
So I but I've gotten the free first month subscription to YouTube Red because it's a YouTube Red original film as well. So I've gotten the first month free, and depending on how much I like it, I might keep it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But so I watched it on YouTube Red, just here, and it was kind of nice not having to go to a movie theater at least.
Oh sure.
Because technically I didn't pay any money for it yet, but I probably will have to pay for like the first month subscription because that's probably how it works. Because nothing's free.
Okay. Yeah.
So I thought it was to avoid spoilers, it was a okay movie. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. It kind of falls in the middle. You really have to understand a lot of Rooster Teeth stuff to get some of the humor, and it's like there's jokes aplenty, and I think it's hard because we just talked about Deadpool. It's like hard to go from one comedy movie to the other without really like comparing the two, and it's just because Deadpool had such a good production, and it's honestly kind of tainting my like view of Laser Team because that's the most fresh thing in my mind. But it's still a good movie. The story is okay. You know, I think the whole premise of the story is, without spoiling it, four guys find pieces of armor that are supposed to be used to save the Earth, and each piece of the armor is like supposed to represent like the old story about Perseus, like the helmet, the shield, the sword, and the winged boots.
Okay.
And so there's boots, 2 gloves, and a helmet, and each of the gloves does different things. So like one glove is the shield and one glove is the sword, but it's really a blaster.
Okay.
And so each one, they're supposed to be worn by an individual. Excuse me. But they each put one on individually, and so like it's about them essentially trying to save the world.
Okay. So, but now, our original plan was we were going to drive to hopefully a local movie theater and, like, we were going to see this together.
Yeah.
I looked it up a couple of weeks ago before the movie was released, and we found out the furthest movie theater showing it was, like, 70 miles away.
Yeah.
So, in a way, I kind of was saved because I wasn't able to go see it, but I am personally not too familiar with Rooster Teeth, so not being able to really get all of the in-jokes, I feel like that's kind of... here's the thing about a lot of like fan service movies, and this even goes back to Deadpool. Yeah. Either they're going to Hollywoodize it and make it apply to everyone, so like everyone can kind of go in and get something out of it.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna focus on
a specific demographic.
And then like they're gonna really please them, but then half of the other people who are watching aren't gonna maybe be able to appreciate it as much.
Yeah, and I think that definitely shows in the reviews like from the critics for Laser Team. You know, they kind of panned it, but I don't think it's a bad movie by any standards. Like there's definitely, like, for example, I forget, like someone compared it to two different movies and it was like it's better than Pixels, but it's worse than something else. And it was like, you know, as long they were like Pixels had a huge production value,
right? And Adam Sandler, I mean, everything he touches is gold.
but it was just like, you know, at least we like I did put in the words of Michael Jones. At least we did better than Pixels, which had like a way higher production value.
Oh, sure.
And I think sometimes you can kind of see some of the production value, like some of the stuff, some of the CGI. It isn't like crazy good, but it's still like, oh yeah, that's CGI, and it's not like a bad thing. But they do have like a great like costumes and whatnot.
Totally.
Rooster Teeth's pretty good at that. They have a very good art department.
That is awesome for, you know, a small company.
I don't think they're that small anymore.
I mean,
they got like, I'm pretty sure somewhere around thousands of employees.
Oh wait, really?
Or thousands, I don't know.
Oh, I had no idea. I thought it was really just the upfront people. I thought it was just all of them.
It's like they have multiple projects going on.
Okay.
Like they have like the well-known faces, and then they have a whole lot of people working behind the scenes to make everything happen, and yeah.
I honestly had no idea it was that big of a thing, but that's still really cool though. Like the fact that they could still come together and do at least do a movie.
Yeah,
hell, yeah. I mean, hey, even if it's not for everyone.
Yeah. So if you do look up some of Rooster Teeth stuff and you enjoy it, I would recommend watching Laser Team.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's not, as I said, it's not bad, it's not great, it's good. I would say probably, I don't know, like 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
What would you rate Deadpool? Going back on a rating system.
Because I just watched it and I thought it was fantastic, probably 10.
A 10 out of 10? Like,
10
you thought it was perfect?
I would walk back to the movie theater to watch it.
That was a 20-minute drive, so.
Yeah, I would be willing to walk there.
Damn. Wow. 10 out of 10, really?
I really think it was that good. I went in completely blind. I watched some of the trailers, only when they popped up. I didn't look at any reviews. That's how I like to watch movies. I don't like to look at reviews.
Yeah, I'm an idiot that way.
Because I feel like it kind of, you started to expect things, and when you start to expect things and they don't show up, or they show up how differently than how you expected it, I think it can ruin the movie experience. So I like to go in not really expecting anything.
Yeah.
And I think, the only thing I was expecting was jokes. And there were plenty of them. There were plenty of good jokes. There were plenty of dirty jokes. There were plenty of kind of I don't know how to describe dumb puns.
Oh, sure.
Like there were plenty of those. So there was enough jokes like just spread throughout the entire movie for like every age group essentially, but I do not think it is the movie itself is definitely not for every age group.
Here's this has nothing to do with the movie itself, but we go and sit in the theater, and it came out Thursday night or Friday officially. So today is Saturday to date this episode. And so it's still, fairly new. It's not necessarily like a blockbuster, like, you're packing out every single theater, but it's a brand new movie. It's doing well, so it's like, the theater's like, what, 3/4 of the way full?
I think it was maybe 4/5.
4/5?
Yeah.
80%? Alright, sure, we'll go with that. So, we sit down and, like, theater's piling in, and I'd say a good 50% of the people in there were kids around like ages 5 to 8 or so.
5 to 10.
5 to 10. Oh yeah, 5 to 10, with like a parent or or maybe some older guardian. And because I knew generally like what to expect, and a friend of mine had told me that there's some boobs, there's some stuff going on.
Some nudity, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a rated R movie, so you can expect that. I thought it was kind of funny, just watching the 5 to 10 age group. I was like, do they know what they're getting into?
I think I responded, well, if they don't know about the birds and bees, they're definitely going to now. Like, Mommy, Daddy, what are they doing? Oh, close your eyes.
Well,
I mean, yeah, I thought it was surprising too how many children were there for the amount of nudity that was in that movie. And I mean, there was also a buttload of violence. So be prepared for gore.
Definitely.
If you're not a fan of that, just be aware that there's plenty of that in that movie.
Yeah. And actually, since we're kind of back on the topic of Deadpool, something we didn't really talk about was I don't think we even talked about this on when we were just left the theater. The action in the movie was that it wasn't mind blowing like the fight scenes or any of the.
I think the fight scenes mainly focused on being funny as well. Too.
Yeah. So it's an action comedy, but it definitely leans toward the comedy. Yeah. Cause if the trailer for Civil War played. Yeah. And you get that final shot of the trailer where you have Captain America and Bucky just going ham on Iron Man, and that it looks beautiful. It's such a good shot.
It's very well put together. There was probably maybe 20 people alone, even working on making that shot, with CGI, not to mention everyone else that was there when they were actually shooting.
It's the action that I'm expecting from Civil War is it's gonna be through the roof, and I'm sure they're gonna deliver. I'm sure it's gonna be a great movie overall. Deadpool, like you said, the action really relies on the comedy aspect of it as well, because Deadpool's constantly always kind of talking in a way, and he's always dropping the one-liners, and it's great. Yeah. But there's nothing so the action aspect of it, or the superhero aspect of it, and for lack of a better word, is definitely... Yeah, it focuses on the comedy throughout, even through the action. It's passable. It's good. It's not.
I wouldn't say it's bad action. Yeah. There's as I said, it's a lot of gore. There's a lot of gunfights. Yeah. It's not like your typical I'm gonna use my fists to beat them up and do that. I think that's what like you see in other movies like Superman or Marvel other movies kind of, and it's this story as you said, that scene with Bucky and Captain America fighting Iron Man where they're beating the crap out of him with their hand in the shield. It's a lot more people getting shot and being sliced through with katanas.
Exactly. There's never really a moment where you watch a fight or a scene of action where you think, oh my god, that was awesome. But
I think there were a couple where it was oh my god, that just happened.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying then. Yeah, totally.
And it was kind of it was hard to describe, because it was I don't know how to put this in words. It was, I think, the best way to say it is it was crazy the way people died. And I think some of the opening scene had some of the best deaths of the villains.
Okay, yeah, I definitely see what you're saying.
And it's just holy crap, that's brutal.
Oh yeah.
And it was and I think that's what another part of it focuses on. It's let's it's humor and just
the over the topness,
evisceration of human life.
Oh yeah.
Essentially.
Oh yeah, man.
People getting decapitated by him, swinging his swords and whatnot. Mm-hmm. That's in a trailer, so that's not spoilers.
Oh well, yeah, exactly.
So that kind of stuff, and watching the heads roll is essentially, it's extreme violence and humor is what they're going for. Mm-hmm.
So this has been this just turned out to be the Deadpool podcast.
Pretty much.
But I mean that's fine. It's a good movie to talk about, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I originally kind of psyched myself out to be. It was definitely great. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I definitely did. I did like it a lot. So it was definitely worth seeing. It was worth the drive. It was worth the tickets and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Any games you've been playing that you really want to throw out there, or any YouTube series, or?
I mean, if you haven't played Undertale, play Undertale.
Don't
go into it blind though. Don't look anything up.
It's a game that came out 5 months ago now.
I believe
September.
Yeah.
So if you're late to the Undertale train,
I was.
But that's fine though. That's fine. It was great. It was good. Me personally, I never sat down and played it through all the way by myself, but I kind of spoiled it for myself, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's definitely another game you got to play blind. You go in not knowing what to expect, and it fucks with your expectations.
That's the whole point of the game. It's if you go in blind. I don't want to spoil it, but it's it's very well written. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of humor. And really the story is what you make it, and I think it goes off of your actions. Excuse me.
Well,
you're welcome. So it's just you gotta, and you can't let anyone else know you're playing, because then if they know about it, they'll immediately want to make you do something about it. You have to play it by yourself. Lock yourself in your room by yourself and play it. Don't let anyone else
That's understandable. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So yeah, let's see. Let's recap. Deadpool was great.
Deadpool was amazing. 10 out of 10 for me.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to rate it. I liked it a lot, but I don't know where I would put it. I think I need some time to let it sit in.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's not a bad movie at all. Great movie. Great movie. Great writing. Great actors. Makes it, like I said, I think the most effective thing it does is it makes you want more Deadpool. And again, no spoilers, but obviously there's going to be a sequel. I think, actually, I read this morning that Deadpool set a box office record for a rated R movie in opening weekend.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting.
Huh.
I think people have been wanting something like Deadpool for a while now.
I mean, Deadpool by himself has just always been, hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
How do you not like him? And
yeah, totally. So yeah, Deadpool was great overall. Laser
Team was a good movie. I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. You just gotta know what's going on in the movie.
Yeah.
And the background behind everything. Behind Bernie Burns, Michael Jones, Gavin Free, and Colton Dunn, which are the 4 main actors in the movie.
Yeah. So
and Alan Richardson, who's a really funny guy too.
Okay.
And Undertale, play it by yourself.
Play it by yourself.
Yeah.
Undertale 2, are you expecting co-op? That was a terrible joke, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, he did say in his original Kickstarter, any money made over the goal might go towards the second game.
That is pretty cool. That would be awesome.
I think it would be pretty cool if Mr. Toby Fox was able to create another amazing game that can even if it was slightly less as amazing as Underwood, it would still be a fantastic
Underwood?
Underwood? I don't know why I said Undertale.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Undertale. Even if it was the same quality, it's still fantastic. Even if it's a step below that, it's still a great game.
Now, actually, I have another question for you. Now, would you like a sequel, or would you like a similar game by Toby Fox?
I would along the lines of great story and humor, I would like that, but I I think the Undertale, depending on the endings that you take, should be left alone the way it is.
I agree,
because
honestly.
it's if Mr. Toby Fox does decide to make a sequel from Undertale, I really don't see where he could even like
take it from what was accomplished through the first game.
Yeah, like the ending really doesn't set itself up for a sequel whatsoever. It's like the opposite of the last two films that we were just talking about.
I know, right?
Both films set themselves up for a sequel.
Yeah.
Whether or not Laser Team does that, I don't know. Deadpool's probably going to do that just because it's fantastic and everyone loves it. But I think a similar style of game, like that RPG, like old RPG, Earthbound series, RPG style game, with a different story but similar aspects, would be a phenomenal. Even if, as I said, even if it's like the quality is not as good as Undertale is, it's still going to be a good game.
Just that to have a similar experience like that again.
Well, I wouldn't want the same or a similar experience. I think what he would do, because I'm making an assumption that, you know, he's not the type to just go for a cash grab. Which I'm assuming, because Undertale definitely does not do that. It's just a story, like fantastic story. But I think that I hope and I think that he would go for a completely different story, and a completely different experience, because Undertale's experience, I think, is just so unique that anything that tries to copy it just seems like pales in comparison.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, and also like Undertale, I can't name any games specifically, but I feel like I'm sure there are tons of games before Undertale that tried to do what Undertale did, but Undertale did it right.
But yeah, like, I think I was at my friend's house when I beat the game, because he had been playing it and he told me to get it, and I finally looked into it and I got it. And he hadn't spoiled anything for me, and he had helped me get to some of the different endings that you need, like specific things to do. Like, I didn't know what to do. He didn't tell me anything about them. He just told me what to do to get to like these specific requirements. And he said after I beat like the true ending of the game, I honestly don't really remember this, but I remember him telling me about it. He said I sat there like staring at my computer desktop for about 5 minutes before closing like my laptop and then going to sleep. Like it was like I remember I still am. Like it's like I would almost say life-changing game.
Oh sure, just to have a game that has that kind of impact is awesome.
That alone shows you like the way that it moved me should be a testament to how well the writing, like how well Toby Fox wrote that game, and like the character development and everything. It was just phenomenal.
And another thing I'd like to point out, I don't want to get too philosophical, but while we're on this topic, I think it's perfect to bring it up that Undertale wouldn't have been able to have been accomplished through any other medium.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
If you couldn't write it as a book, you couldn't do it as a movie or anything like that, because the game centers around the fact that you are a player, and it's so like aware of itself.
Yeah, it's in fact there's a certain point in the game where a character addresses the fact that there will be people watching you play the game because they're too scared to do what you are doing right now, and that's referring to people watching it on YouTube because you know, either the fact that they don't want to buy the game or the fact that they don't want to go that specific route.
It's not so blatant as to say, like, it's not so blatant as to address you, but it, like, you know what it's doing, or you know what they're saying.
Yeah, there's just a whole lot of fourth wall breaks.
Yeah.
Similar to Deadpool, and some of them are funny, some of them are serious, and it's just a very well put together game.
Oh yeah. So, all right. So, recap: Deadpool's great. Laser Team, fan servicey but good.
Yes.
And Undertale's great.
Amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Even though Undertale's we're a little bit late on that train to be talking about it, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. As long as you don't get hyped for it, I think you should be good. Like, I was never really hyped for it, and I didn't expect anything out of it.
Understandable. All right, so I think this is where we're going to leave off for the first ever quiet hour.
Sounds good.
All right.
Probably less than an hour, but...
we are at 35-ish minutes, something like that.
The quiet half hour.
The quiet half hour. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. Yeah. So,
all right, well, you folks have a lovely day.
Yeah, wait, you're getting close to the mic. Should we both get close to the mic?
Close to the mic?
Close to the mic.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna send you off here.
All right.
All right.
See you next time.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for coming on to the Quiet Hour, Casey.
Bye.
That was great.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. All right, dope.